Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, and here, when I wear my clean hat, I'm on ETCG 1, and here on ETCG 1 I start things off with, hey, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Please enjoy this digital confection that I found for you. I'd like to start today's video off by just thanking all of you and for your support after my last video that I posted about losing my shop. I've had people email me offering to help me move, offering, legal help, all kinds of things to try to keep me where I am because you want to help me keep this going. And I cannot put into words how much I appreciate all of that support. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now onto the topic at hand, which is, should you rent or buy your shop? Now, I'm also going to address some of the questions and comments that came up to the previous video that I just mentioned about losing my shop. And I'm going to start off by saying, well, we'll start with ownership. Start off by saying that I am a former landlord. In fact, I was a landlord for about 8 years, and I used to own the building that my original shop was in, right? I have that perspective. I have the ownership perspective. So in addition to that building, which was a mixed use, it was part commercial, part residential, there was a beauty salon there and 2 apartments. I also had another 2-family house that wasn't far away from there. In addition to working a full-time job as a mechanic, I also did side work in that same shop that was my old shop, and I was trying to take care of the maintenance and upkeep on 3 different properties because I lived across town. Burning the candle at both ends barely begins to describe it, and I've got to say that, well, I'm glad those days are behind me. They were certainly busy, let's put it that way. But anyway, as far as ownership goes, well, the first thing I'm going to say to that is if you're paying a mortgage, you don't own it, the bank does. So this whole idea that you own something until you've got to pay it off, no you don't. And then once you do pay it off, the government says, okay, this property is worth X amount, you owe us this amount of money in taxes every year. So there's that to deal with. Ownership basically means this. I'll boil it down. Everything is your fault. Everything is your problem. Everything is your responsibility. If you're renting, then you're just responsible for what's on your lease. So in addition to paying your rent on time, there's a contractual obligation like says, well, you're supposed to cut the grass or whatever, that kind of thing. If it's in the lease, that's what you're supposed to do. Other than that, it's not your problem, it's the owner's problem. In many ways, I think for a business setting, that renting is better. And I think it's better because it allows you that freedom, that latitude to smooth out those bumps of, like, say, the pipes burst one night and, now you've got a flooded shop, which has happened here more than once. If you're renting, it's just what's on the paperwork that you're responsible for. If you're owning, you're responsible for everything. Now, as far as my particular situation, I actually looked into purchasing this property, this building and trailer and this little chunk of property a couple of years ago. So I reached out to the owner and asked him what he might want for the property. Then I started doing my research. And if you are going to purchase a property, particularly a commercial property, I highly recommend that you do this research before you make the purchase. And what I found out was a couple of interesting things. Well, first of all, I know that there's a creek out behind this place, and I'm told that it had actually flooded one time and put this shop in under about a foot of water. So flood insurance is going to have to come up with that ownership. But additionally, across the street where there's a big empty field now, apparently that used to be the sewage plant for the city, and all they really did was kind of bury it. And that brings me to another interesting point, the stories that I've heard in the past. I've never known anybody personally, but I've heard of stuff like this. Somebody owns a shop, and the EPA comes out and they test the soil and they say, this soil is contaminated. And because you own this property, you're responsible for cleaning it up. And that could be an expense of tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to do that. And you can't do business until you're done cleaning that up. So in other words, people will effectively shut down because of an environmental issue. Something that they may not have had anything to do with it because, say, an auto shop that's been on the corner since, the 1940s, who knows what happened between then and now. And just working in a place trying to be responsible, stuff gets spilled, it's not perfect. This is not a perfect world. Things come in broken, leaking, all kinds of toxic things that you have to deal with. Well, if you own that property, the mess that toxic stuff makes, well, that's on you. So that's a potential issue that you may have to deal with. Ultimately, I decided the condition of this property and the situation, not to mention the space. And here's the other thing that I researched and found out about this. Just getting the trailer that's next door to here that was used as offices years ago, that I now use as storage, just to get that trailer over there, I heard was like a really difficult thing through the city of Mason, which is where the shop is located. They didn't want any development on this property whatsoever. And I think in part because they're out there widening the road right now. In fact, a good chunk of this piece of property got bought up recently because they are widening that road. And that was probably a good thing because, like I said, they're not allowing any kind of development here. So if I decided one day I needed more space, I couldn't make it for myself here. And that was one of the big drawbacks for me. So I didn't necessarily want to mess with that. Yeah, it's a nice piece of land and location and all that kind of thing, but if I can't do what I want with it, then I'm kind of stuck. So I passed. But what I did do is I went looking for another potential place, and that's exactly where I'm ending up. In fact, I went and put a deposit on that place 2 years ago before I even got to this point. So in a way, I had a contingency plan in place. And by the way, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but my lease for this place expired years ago. I've been renting month to month since then. If I had an active lease that said that I was renting through 2024 or whatever, the new owner that would come in, they would have to honor that lease, and I could be here until the lease was up. But once that lease was up, that new owner could say, okay, bye-bye. They don't have to renew that lease. They're under no obligation to do that. My situation without a lease, if they came in, they could say, no, you're out tomorrow. They could do that because they own the property now. But the new owner is not doing that. He's being very accommodating. He's going to allow me to, as I said, rent month to month and pay exactly what I'm paying until I'm ready to move, which is way cool, and I'm super grateful for that. But I kind of, in my mind, I was thinking, well, let's assume worst case scenario just in case. Anyway, my situation may have been tenuous here, but as I said, I planned for it. And I put my deposit into that new place. And by the way, as far as that new place is concerned, the only reason there's a waiting list to get in. The only reason I'm getting in is because they're building that new building. And I'm not necessarily going into that new building. Most likely what's going to happen is somebody that's in one of the existing buildings is going to move out into that new building, and I'm going to move into their old space. That's most likely what's going to happen. Point is, if you're in business, you have to try to think ahead. You have to try to be ahead of things. And especially if you're going to get yourself into a major financial commitment like owning a piece of property, do all the research that you can possibly do and find out every single thing about that before you get involved with it. Because once you own it and all of its problems. If you're renting, you're only responsible for what's on the lease. So decide what's right for you before you bite the bullet. Now, some have suggested that I get a piece of land out in the country somewhere and build my own shop. And honestly, that's a dream of mine, and I would love to do that. But there's a couple of things holding me back. First of all, and most importantly, my daughter is a junior in high school now, and she's also in the marching band. And the last thing I want to do is move to another school district and take her away from all that. So now is not the time to do any of that. Additionally, if you're out in the sticks or something like that, there are other things that need to be considered, like utilities, like where you're going to get your electric from, where you're going to get your water from, what are you going to do with the sewer, and what kind of permits are they going to let you, have to build those things. They may not allow you to build what you want to build out there, even though it's your property. Again, research, find out where you're getting into before you get into it. Otherwise, you could wind up, regretting all of it. And then plan ahead. Like if you're in a situation like I was in, like I said, 2 years ago, I set this whole thing up down the street, and now it's maturing, it's coming to pass. And it's, I hope, going to work out better than ever because I'm going from 3,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet. Now my rent is almost going to be double, but on the flip side of that, I got all that extra space, and I've got future plans. Let's just put it this way. If I saw this coming, I see other things coming, and there are other things, bigger and better things coming to Eric the Car Guy in the future. So stay tuned. Anyway, once again, thanks to all of you for your support. I hope the information in this video was helpful. Please share your experiences with owning or renting or EPA issues, stuff like that, down in the comments. I'd love to hear what your feedback is on all of that. I'll put links in the description to additional videos that might relate to this topic. Also a link to ericthecarguy.com, which is where I ask you go if you have automotive questions. Thank you so much for watching today. Remember, ETCG1 posts videos on Monday, so if you want your birthday wish, make sure your birthday's on a Monday. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you next time.